Suso, tira Alessio, Suso, tira, perché non tiriamo? Ma perché non tiriamo? Gol! Alessio Romagnoli, goal! Alessio Romagnoli.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the SempreMilan podcast. I'm your host, Ollie Fisher. You can find me on Twitter at Ollie Fisher, joined once again by Anthony Torgrud.
What's up, guys? Glad to be back. Exciting times, I guess, and follow me on Twitter at Twirt45.
Exciting times, huh, Anthony?
Yep.
You guys can go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Madison_DT.
Exciting times indeed. If by exciting you mean frightening and kind of boring because, again, no football, nothing to really discuss. Last couple of weeks we've kind of gone over everything, like how much chaos it is, how we hope everyone is well, and obviously that extends, that still extends. One of our writers, Steph, actually, she covers the women's team. She's come down with coronavirus, which is awful. Obviously, I hope that she recovers soon. And yeah, I guess really what's happened is the papers have kind of gone into overdrive in terms of making up rumours about the futures of various players, and that obviously extends to Milan, probably because we have the most players with the most uncertain situations, which is fair. Really feels like we're coming up to a massive summer, if there is a summer transfer window, or if it is still in the conventional way. There's some talk of it extended until December the 31st, and there not being a January window, so we'll have to wait and see how it all works out, obviously. But I want to start with one thing. Ibrahimovic is going, I think. It'd be fair to say.
I think he's retiring.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. First of all, how do you feel about it? Do you think there should be some regrets on our part about how the whole thing has been handled?
I don't think that he's retiring because of the situation at the club. I think he's retiring because he's sick of the bullshit, which could be part of what's happening at the club. So,
at the club, yeah.
Yeah. But he could very easily go to another club.
Mm.
I just think that he's ready to relax.
Mm. I think go on, AJ, sorry.
No, I was just going to kind of reiterate that. I think he's probably done. I mean, this was the least ceremonious way to end a career, and I think he's just kind of sensing how the way the club's going, how he's kind of hasn't been feeling it the last couple months, the fact his contract's running out, there's uncertainty at the club, and I think it's just easiest for all parties involved if he just calls it a day. I mean, I don't want him to, but I really don't foresee any other outcome.
It is definitely a sad way for Zlatan to end his career.
Yeah.
It is, and that is exactly why I'm going to go against what you say. I don't think that this will be the way that it ends. I really don't. I think that what is going on at the moment, obviously with Boban going and Rangnick supposedly arriving as a head coach, sporting director, know that he tends to focus on young players, all that kind of stuff, salary cap, everything that was supposed to be happening this summer, I now don't think is going to happen. I think that all the various uncertainties that are going on in the world, with the whole coronavirus emergency, etc., means that we're probably not getting Rangnick this summer. And I think that the most logical thing as a result would be to keep Pioli for another year, and probably to keep Maldini and Massara as well if they're happy to stay on for another year, because this isn't going to be like a normal summer. We're going to get maybe a month of pre-season, I would say. So that's not enough time to have wholesale changes and to completely rip everything up. And also with all the money that clubs are losing, us, especially, there's not going to be the finances there to kind of overhaul the squad in the way that we would want. So I see next season as almost an extension of like the current season and just seeing what we can do. And I think that is probably the only circumstance in which Ibra would extend his deal. And I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful that he does, because I don't think that there was something in Gazzetta dello Sport today. They say that he's going, but what he really wanted was a Beckham-style farewell. Obviously, he was at PSG with Beckham when he played his last game, and he got subbed off and got a standing ovation from all the stadium, and he was crying. And I mean, even I watched that. I think most people in England watched that because obviously Beckham was such an iconic player for us growing up. And I don't think Ibra will deprive himself of that. I really don't. I think if anybody's likely to want that final swan song, and he's going to want to say, I can do it at 39. He said when he joined us that he'll stay while he feels useful. So
maybe that means staying till January then.
Well, one thing that I'm
or just
curious
like,
about is, is a 6-month contract, but we only got games for 2 of those. So, I mean, is there some
lucky
way
him.
that the leagues are going to finagle, hey, these
Yeah, they're
contracts aren't going to
trying.
expire. They're going to continue, and then now all these half contracts are going till January, like you said, or they just can. I don't know. Like on
Serie A,
or something.
I believe the plan at the moment, Juve have already said that they're not, that players have unanimously agreed to not be paid for the months where
Right.
there's interruption. So that's likely to be
But that's
March.
not uniform across the board. I mean, that's like
No,
each
it
club. I
isn't.
know Barca's only doing
Barcelona had to
70%.
force it on their players.
Right, which is
Like
ridiculous.
what the
Yeah.
hell? You guys
That
make
was
so
slightly
much
different.
money.
It was 70% pay cut instead, whereas with Juve, it was them saying they're not going to take any salary for those
Right.
3 months.
Yeah.
I think that
Which is the right thing to do.
media, again,
I think so
believe what
too.
you want. Believe what you want in the media, but I think that the Serie A isn't as rich a league as La Liga. There's talk of Serie A being on its ass financially because of all of this. They rely heavily on TV rights and they cannot provide games to televise, so that's a problem. I think that clubs will adopt this. I think the problem is with the smaller clubs, because obviously at smaller clubs you've got players that are on less wages and they need those wages because of the
Right.
means that they're living to. Not everyone's an Ibrahimovic who's taking home $6 million a year plus. So it's difficult in that sense, but I think that there will come to some kind of agreement for mass pay cuts. And if they do that, then that in theory means that the contracted period is still valid and Ibra will have served his 6 months. But I wouldn't rule out an extension, especially if things kind of stay the same over the summer and we just have another year under Pioli, another year with this young squad just to see how they grow and develop. And then we can decide where we're at. And if Rangnick still fancies it, then we can properly go into the overhaul and Ibra will have done his year and a half and he can ride off into the sunset, and that'll be amazing. But
to play devil's advocate
I guess,
that, I saw today UEFA announced all the UEFA competitions are suspended, but also financial fair play for the upcoming window is suspended. So
not suspended, slightly slackened.
I thought they said it was completely null for the upcoming.
They said that they still want to keep the principles of financial fair play there, but with regards to the 2020-21 European competitions, basically they're saying like it's a bit of a free rein. But what that means is you've got to get there. Like for us, we need to get into the Europa League, and that's not an absolute guarantee at the moment. So,
and that's another thing I'm going to be curious to see, like because we this season qualified for it, but we are serving a suspension. Is this now considered suspension served, time served? We're good now, and then we're going back to last season's finish. So now we are in it for next season. I mean, there's so many questions that no one has an answer to. So it makes
I gotta
very
imagine
hard.
they're not going to go back to last season's finish.
That's been the talk.
That would screw over so many teams.
Yeah, but I mean, like, there's 11 games to be played. I mean, very few. Like Liverpool is the only club that's pretty solid in their placement right now. Everything else is still up in the air. I mean, we have an uneven amount of games played in our league.
I would feel terrible for Lazio. They've had a great season.
Yeah, I would too. But at the same time, it's like, what are you going to do? We can't favor one team's situation over another's. It's like null and void is the only fair way about it, even though some teams, such as Liverpool, have such a lead. The title's decided, even though it's technically not. They're the ones who are getting hit the hardest, probably. And then a team like Lazio, you said,
so
is 1
would
point
Manchester
off,
City be crowned champions again?
No one's getting crowned champion. It just
no
this whole season doesn't exist.
Okay. I mean, I'd be okay with that in England personally, but
yeah, and I'm
think
okay with it everywhere. I guess. I mean, that's there's just nothing else you could do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Pippo Inzaghi did a really good interview where he said, Benevento are something like 22 points clear, and he was one of the first people to say that we should stop playing until everything's safe again, which is fair. That's a good stance to have. But obviously, the managers and the players
for automatic promotion, correct?
Not officially, but they're basically there.
Right.
I can't remember what is it. They're up. They're 22 points clear of second alone or something. So they're basically there. But the problem, I think, is mostly financial in this, because I'm just looking at it from English football perspective and how lucrative it is to get promoted from the second division, the Championship, to the Premier League. And, obviously the teams that are the top two in the Championship at the moment, which is Leeds and West Brom, are saying that, you can't null and void the season. We're here. And also, a lot of our business plans are budgeted for being in the Premier League. And you can say that's their own fault for doing so, but they're in a good position. I think they're like 7 and 8 points clear of third place. And, they've started planning for the season in the Premier League. And also there's various things written into contracts, such as bonuses. And, would they be scrapped? That wouldn't go down particularly well with the agents and stuff, you wouldn't imagine. There is no solution, it seems, that will please everybody.
Exactly. And that's why null and void is the only logical way, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we're not the ones making a decision, really.
I wish I was.
Same.
There'd be some biases thrown about.
I'd award Milan the title alphabetically.
Yeah.
We play on the AC thing. Yeah, and I mean, back to the Ibra thing. Obviously, we'll see how that plays out. I've read that he's due to have a meeting with Ivan Gazidis to see, what the plans are for the future. And I expect in that meeting that he'll be told that probably Rangnick isn't arriving now and we're going to stick with Pioli. I kind of hope that's the case because I've said all along I feel sorry for Pioli and all this and all the good work that he's done has kind of been undermined by what's gone on in the media. But one name has kind of come out in the media about a favourite to replace Ibrahimovic if he were to leave. Arkadiusz Milik, what do you think?
He's fragile. The man's been broken a lot lately. He's a great player.
Zebra.
Yeah, but Ibra's Zebra.
I was about to say, but Ibra's Zebra.
Malik's good. He had a couple fantastic seasons, but since his injuries, I mean, has he been consistent? I don't even know if he's back. I've been so disconnected lately. Is he?
The problem is, yeah, he's okay again. The problem with Milik is it's serious injuries. Sadly, knee ligament. It's hard. I mean, he's only 26, so in theory, he's got plenty of years left in him if he can stay fit. But you're taking a risk there, especially with the price tag that's been mentioned. You start thinking, well, what kind of a player are we going to be getting for that? He hasn't shown that he could do it consistently since the injury, but his goal scoring record itself is pretty good. My problem is that if we're going to go for someone like Milik after we brought in someone with experience, leadership like Ibrahimovic, are we not just getting another Piontek?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
So, and that was one of the things we rightly got a lot of stick for putting this out, but it was one of those things that I had to report. Mediaset basically said that you can't rule out Piontek coming back, which is mental. But the thing about that was that they didn't know if there was something written into it like a buyback clause, or there's something written into the deal that wasn't reported at the time, whereby actually he could come back, or he might come back on loan or something like that. But,
okay, that's what I say. It was a straight sell, correct? Yeah.
Okay. That's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine there was a buyback clause included unless it was to protect Hertha in case they didn't get a decent return on their investment, and they said, all right, no, you can have him back. But also part of that report was that it was a Rangnick thing, and Rangnick considers him a really suitable centre forward for his system and stuff like that. So maybe that's where the Milik thing comes from as well. They are both Polish, but he's got 46 goals in 109 appearances for Napoli, which isn't bad. One every 2 games. 14 in 49 for Poland. Milik was a name at one point. There's no denying 2 or 3 years ago we'd have killed to have him. Even when he was at Ajax, he was lethal, and I really liked him. And
I don't want a player who was good. I want a goal every other game. That's 15 goals a season.
I mean, we're not going to be able to go out and get a Ciro Immobile, are we? That's the thing. As much as
but
Belotti would probably still be my pick.
Yeah,
if we can
I'd
get
like
that
him
done.
too.
Belotti would push for a move at this stage in his career as well.
But would he push to Milan? Because at this state of the club, it's not like that's a move up.
Well, it's still it's a step up from Torino, who are more unstable than us and have been pretty dreadful this season. But also he's a fan of the club, so
Yeah.
he's not any other top 6 team in my opinion, and he's going to want to stay in Italy. I think we're probably the only. It's just if Napoli sell Milik somewhere, I could see them going for someone like Belotti, to be honest. But if Mertens goes as well, that is. I still think we should be going for Mertens, but don't know if that's going to be a wage problem for us. But yeah, there's that, and then the Donnarumma thing keeps on going. Some interesting stuff. I tend to read more than most people into what Louis Girardi says. The transfer source guy on Twitter said that Chelsea have offered a deal, which a lot of outlets are now reporting that Chelsea have offered him good money, but that Gigio wants to still explore the possibility of staying and see if he can work something out. So that for me is encouraging news. I think the only thing we can play on at this point is him wanting to stay.
But that's what it's been down to the entire time. He's had so many chances to leave, and every time it comes down to the fact that he wants to play for AC Milan.
Possibly, but
that's the only
I
thing that
think
saves
even
us.
if I can say hand on heart, if I was playing for my boyhood team, or if I was playing for Milan, let's say, and I was earning $6 million a year, and from the time that I signed that contract 3 years ago, I'd improved and became one of the best in the world in my position. But the club offered me a deal at $3 million a year because that's the salary cap that they're now using. When I'm already living to my means at twice that amount, I'm not signing it. No matter how much I love the club, it becomes a reckless financial decision at that point. You got to look after your family, and I don't know. I just don't see that happening.
Well, just to clear things up, $3 million a year is definitely enough to look after your family, but it's also
relative. I mean,
I know it's also cutting your pay in half.
That's the
I
principle.
don't see us trying to do that. I see us either keeping him at the 6, offering him 7, or just selling him.
Yeah, I think
there's got to be bonuses. There has to be some bonus structure. That's the only way we could justify not giving him the raise he deserves. And with Raiola, I don't know if he accepts it. I mean, Gigio's old enough now to where he's not going to be influenced by Raiola. He's not going to be tricked into making moves that he didn't want to do like before with that whole saga. But I don't know. I mean, I think Ollie's right. It doesn't matter how much you love the club. If their only option is to offer you less money and you very clearly deserve a lot more, you got to leave.
Well, at that point, it's a slap in the
well.
face, and it's disrespectful.
It is, yeah. And the reason that they're doing that is not because they can't afford to pay him it. They can afford to pay him it. We've had a ridiculous wage bill for a few years now, and yes, they're trying to cut that. I think that's the right thing to do. But you do that by getting rid of bad contracts like Bilia, like Çalhanoğlu, like Pepe Reina, all these players that are earning north of $3.5 million a year. That's how you save the money. You hang on to your star players, and if the only reason that they're not willing to offer Gigio the money he's worth is because, well, we want to have a salary cap now, even though we can afford to pay you. You say to Raiola, we can afford to pay your client what he's worth and what he wants, but we're not gonna because we now want to have this limit.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. It just won't work. I
think there's a way to. I guess the word limit wouldn't be accurate, but to have a standard ceiling for players and then your exceptions. Because Donnarumma is an exception to that. Absolutely. I mean, like you said, you get rid of Bilia, that's right there. There's your $3 million a year increase, and the wage bill doesn't change at all. Like, you could do that and then get rid of Reina, get rid of someone else.
Yeah. I get it. I get the cutting bad contracts. I think we've needed to do that for a while. Bilia is our second highest earner. There's 5 players who are set to leave at the moment. Bilia, Bonaventura, Ibrahimovic, Simon Kjaer and Asmir Begovic will all be off the wage bill as of June, assuming we don't sign any of them to further deals or we don't extend their loans or don't buy Kjaer permanently. So that's a big saving. That is a huge, huge saving. And that needs to go back into the pot because otherwise what we're doing then is just accepting that our potential as a club is now more limited and saying, right, that's now what we've got to work with. It's like, I get cutting the cloth and trying to do things the right way, but you can accept that we spent money and we spent money badly, but then to say that we should have less money to spend as a result of that, I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me. I do also get, the whole Rangnick thing. If he comes in, he's going to want to sign a lot of young players, and young players don't tend to demand huge salaries. So we might be onto something with that. But what if it goes really well and they do? What if Teo Hernandez, his agent, says, we think he's worth $6 million a year now?
Yeah, or at least he's worth what he was getting at Madrid,
Yeah.
And
are we just
he's
going to
earned that
sell
back.
him?
Yeah.
Are we just going to say, no, sorry, okay, you no longer fit our project, bye?
I got to imagine that this is a temporary thing. I can't imagine that we are trying to keep a salary cap and win Champions Leagues. That's not realistic at all.
No.
Yeah, maybe
I think
like a one-season thing.
Yeah,
like this season we're basing everyone here, and then after that we'll renegotiate or something like that. I mean,
or
is it just cleaning?
You're a new player. We're going to pay you this much. You have to earn what you're going to get.
The way it should be.
Past management were just like,
yeah.
You want $5 million? You want $5 million? Okay, everyone gets $5 million.
I mean, Barini was on 1.5. I mean, that was pretty crazy. Or no, he was on higher than that, wasn't he?
Who's that?
Barini.
Oh, Barini was on 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, I think he was a free transfer, but still, I mean,
but he also
really
was a
really
workhorse.
good. Yeah, I liked Barini. He did.
I mean, he came good, but still, like 2.5 is too much for that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, they're either stripping everything back to try and leave kind of a club in good financial health for whoever the next buyer is, and sort of in turn, the more healthy you are financially, the more attractive the club is to buyers, or they are. I don't think they actually intend on doing everything on the cheap. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm sure we'll see more as the weeks go on. The papers are in overdrive at the moment, so might as well enjoy it. Let's go to some questions then. Matt Robson, loyal fan of the show. Fair play, Robson, for chipping in with a great question here. What was it like as American and English Milan fans when Beckham went to the LA Galaxy and went to Milan, back to Galaxy, and then back to Milan? I can't even remember the order that went in, but I'm going to take his word for that. I know that he came to Milan and then he went to Galaxy and joined Milan back on loan.
He was at Galaxy first. All his Milan spells were loans from Galaxy.
Right,
That's what I thought.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll go first. My big memory of Beckham at Milan, was probably his first goal at Fiorentina away. That was good. That made the headlines over here because he's one of the biggest English. He's one of the biggest sort of English footballing brands that there's been since I've been growing up. There were arguably better players than him, but he was just the guy. He was the first one to kind of break into the fashion industry and to do all this. He was just the guy. But sadly, like my main memory is when he broke his metatarsal in that game against Chievo and missed the World Cup as a result. So that was pretty gutting. But what was it like to see him at Milan? Amazing. I never actually got a shirt with his name on. Don't know why, but just the guy. I love Bex. I love his wife. I love Posh.
Yeah, you're a big Spice Girls fan.
Spice Girls. Yeah, big Spice Girls fan. AJ?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Obviously, Beckham is, like you said, he's one of the biggest footballing icons ever, not just English, just in the world. I'd say he alone ushered in a huge soccer craze in America. There were, waves prior to him and waves after him, but he was definitely one of the biggest ripples. That was when I first started taking notice of it. Obviously, then at Milan, fantastic. When he scored a goal from a corner kick, that was with the Galaxy. That's like one of my greatest memories of football.
Great memory.
Yeah, I mean, I think I put it on Twitter in a challenge like a week ago or something like that. But I mean, that was just iconic. That was the coolest thing. I mean, I've always wanted to be Beckham. I still want to be Beckham, even in his 50s. I think he's way cooler than me. Yeah, Beckham.
He's just a great looking bloke.
To be fair, he is way cooler than all of us combined.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, way cooler, way better looking. He's just Beckham's god. Yeah, he's awesome. I never bought his jersey either, and I've looked a lot in the last like 3 years, and anytime one pops up, they sell for hundreds. I mean, they're like, we all made mistakes not getting them when they were around, because now they're they're valued by everyone, and rightfully so. Beckham's great.
Oh, Maddie's got. No, never mind. I remember that free kick that he scored that was almost from sort of corner territory for Milan. I can't remember who it was against, but I actually want to say that it was against Chievo again. Yeah, it was free kick from a really narrow angle, and the commentators were like, "He's not going to shoot from here, is he?" And he bent it right into the near top corner. It was like, "Oh, wow."
Yeah.
My favourite other Beckham memory was the free kick that he scored against Greece when England needed that goal to qualify for the World Cup, and he just stepped up at Old Trafford. At that point, it was his own ground and just banged it into the top corner. And everybody remembers Beckham against Greece. That was just one of the things that everybody remembers. So yeah, loved Beckham. Maddie, anything to add?
No, I didn't care that he was on LA Galaxy or AC Milan. I'm more of a I like Ronaldinho more than David Beckham, so that was more of a highlight.
I mean, that was a really, really interesting site. Let me try and find the picture. There's a really, really good picture of like Ronaldinho, Beckham, Kaká, Pirlo all together at Milan, and it's just absolutely unbelievable. We've had some. That was at that point where we just started signing big names. And I think maybe that's where things started to go slightly wrong. Not that Ronaldinho wasn't great for us.
Don't
And not
say.
the thing
You
is,
could argue that's when things went right.
We didn't win anything.
no.
Well,
I guess it's true. Yeah.
It was after the 2007 Champions League final that I think.
We haven't won since.
I think Berlusconi went a bit nuts on the whole fame thing and was just like, right, we're going to keep signing the biggest names. And he kind of forgot how football actually worked and how we were successful before. And it was from there, really. And then obviously we got things right in the 2010-11 season, led by Ibra, and managed to win a Scudetto. But, you know, since then, no major honours. I'm not counting the Super Coppa, sorry, lads. And it's been a bit depressing, but that was certainly a glorious era, and it was around that era that everybody probably had posters of those great Milan teams on their wall. Similar kind of question here from Christian Espinoza. For you two, your favourite American player ever? For me, my favourite English player ever. I'm not sure if they mean to play for Milan or to just play
I think
in
that
general.
just went in general because
Do both.
only one
Do
American. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think our answer is gonna be the same if it's Milan people.
People.
Person.
Fair enough.
Personnel.
Unless you want to count the almost transfer in January.
To be fair, Anguchian Onyewu is in my top 3 favorite U.S. players.
Maddie can't say normal words, but he could say that dude's name.
I love him,
Yeah,
dude.
that's true.
He's awesome. He beat up Ibrahimovic.
He didn't beat him up. They got in a fight,
Yeah,
but
he
he
did.
didn't win.
You don't think anybody wins in a fight against Ibra, to be honest.
He like sprained Ibra's ribs or something.
Well,
Look it up.
he's a
But he
tall
came
guy.
off way worse.
Yeah, he got kicked out of the club.
Yeah,
he did.
so did Ibra. So whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was mad.
Yeah, I guess I don't really have a favorite American player, to be honest. If I have to pick one, Pulisic, just because he's pretty sick.
You fucking fanboy.
I am, yeah. But like that's it. I mean, look at the other ones. Like I know you like Tim Howard, but I don't give a shit. Who are the other big names? Clint Dempsey, I don't give a shit. Like
Tim Howard
Donovan,
is-
I don't care.
I mean, I give Maddie shit for this, but Tim Howard is like massively respected over here. You know, he's got the.
yeah,
I don't know if it's now the second most Premier League appearances as a goalkeeper. He's just been there, you know.
Weston McKennie. That's who I'm picking. Weston McKennie.
I like what you.
No
How is he
idea.
your favorite player? You didn't even think of his name when it first came up.
Most American players aren't in my list, so I had to think about it.
Mm-mm.
Tim
I'm
Howard,
sorry, I don't know.
hands down.
You've got a guy who might be, is it Serginho Dest, I want to say.
At
Yeah,
Ajax,
yeah, he's good.
Yeah, he's
there's another youth
baller.
kid at Dortmund, Giovanni Reina or something.
Mm.
yeah, I've seen him. I haven't like followed
Golden
any, but yeah.
generation.
We're gonna
So
qualify in 2026. That's all I know.
Right?
my favorite USA player is David Wagner, of course. And my favorite
Did he ever
English...
play for the U.S. national team?
Yeah, I think he did.
To be
Yeah,
fair, you just gotta have you just gotta play to get called.
yeah. You just got to declare yourself as American. And then
Yeah,
you're
they're like,
there,
"Oh,
right?
yeah, we got another.
He was all right, was Wagner. He played for like Schalke and stuff, and he played with Klopp, I think. My favourite English player to play for Milan is, I never saw him, obviously. He was in the 80s, but he's kind of an icon, Mark Hateley. He scored the winner in the derby in 86, which was our first one for a long, long time. It was a massive header over Fulvio Collavati. Really iconic goal. If you haven't seen
it was
that,
a
go
tifo
search it. Yeah.
recently, like a couple years
I
ago.
was there for that one.
Hmm.
And I couldn't believe it when I saw that. Because when you're part of it, you obviously don't get to see it. So then you're checking Twitter to see what you were sort of holding up.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, I fucking love that goal. So
That was
I
the 3-0
buzzing for
victory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good day. I was there for the giant Berlusconi one as well. That was
That's
mental.
great. Yeah, with all
That's
the
my
trophies.
favorite tifo.
Oh, it's just class. It's class. I love Silvio, man. My favourite English player in general? Hard. I don't even know. Emil Heskey. Let's go with that.
All right, good answer.
He scored the 5th goal to make it 5-1 against Germany when we won in Munich 5-1, and that is just like the England game that everybody talks about. I've got it on DVD somewhere, but winning 5-1 in Germany was unreal. And final one. This is a good one. I like this question. It comes from @Lebovic. His Twitter name's Tsar, as in like the Russian king. I don't know. If the three of you were football players based on your current physical/mental attributes, note that down, Maddie. He said mental attributes. Which Milan player would you be most like?
Oh, God. Milan player would I be most like?
Maddie's Davide Calabria because he's just reckless as fuck.
God.
To be fair, when I play soccer, I don't give a fuck. I play defense, so I'll take that one.
Defense.
Thanks, Oliver.
No problem.
Who's
Current,
the
does it
worst
say?
player on our team in history?
Doesn't have to be a current player. Ooh.
In history.
Who's that
See,
African guy who we kept on the payroll for like 8 years who never even saw the field?
I know who you're talking about too. Crap. He was my first sell in every FIFA career mode.
Yeah,
Ibrahim
Bar.
Bar.
Like, who?
Ibrahim Bar. It's not him, but you'd be him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
This is one of the things that's like, yeah, based on your physical/mental attributes. I'm thinking, well, I'm physically not a very good footballer. So to say I'm like Maldini. If I was to say, oh yeah, I'm like Maldini, then everyone would be like, yeah, next joke. But probably like when I play centre back purely based on height alone. But I'm not the like Alex guy who used to run out and just head everything on and just barge into people. So I'd probably be like Nesta maybe, but
I have a question.
Obviously, that's an insult.
When you're in the box for a corner kick, does the length of your neck help like power the ball when you header it?
It's more of a hindrance than anything. If you think that giraffes' necks sort of bend when they sway from side to side,
yeah,
you can imagine that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a normal size neck, so I don't understand the
neck
physics
beard.
behind it.
Right. All right.
Anything else to add to that?
Great.
Apart from that, actually, maybe Gattuso, because you're little and you're angry and you've got a beard.
Are you talking to me or Maddie?
Maddie.
Oh, okay.
I'm a little more stocky too, and Gattuso.
I don't know. I'm backing Gattuso in a fight.
Yeah.
Oh, Gattuso will kick my ass.
He grabbed Joe Jordan by the neck, who, funnily enough, was another English player who played for Milan. And you don't grab Joe Jordan by the neck, like you don't do that. But
Tim
Gattuso
Howard
said, grabbed
Diego Costa by the neck too.
I wouldn't do that. Although I don't know, I reckon Costa
move.
might be a bit of a low key, like he's the
Costa
guy who
looks scared, man. It is my favorite Tim Howard moment, minus when he scored against Bolton and then we lost 3-1.
Yeah, fair. That's it, I think, lads. Any closing thoughts? I know this is short and sweet, but like we don't want to bore you. We want to keep it nice.
There's not much content to cover.
This is our most AC Milan podcast in about 3 weeks, so
it's true.
That's true. That is true. Nice one.
I counted all my soccer jerseys the other day. I have 28 soccer jerseys.
Cool.
That's cool. How many of them are Milan, and how many are?
I have 6 AC Milan ones and 7 Everton ones.
And the rest are just random.
Yeah, I have a lot of national team kits. I have 3 Germany and 3 United States.
Well, that's cool. I've got this is gonna sound like such a boast afterwards, but I think I've got every Milan home shirt now back to '98.
You've been collecting those for a while though, because you used
Yeah.
to send us a picture every time you got one.
I need to lay them all out in a way that like they're all in year order and stuff like that, but I haven't got around to it yet. Some of them are also.
Which one are you wearing right now? That's the Van Basten year.
Oh,
right?
this is actually a remake. I've got the original one, the original Kappa jersey, but this is just a remake that I wear for like 5-a-side and stuff.
It's funny. All my Milan jerseys are the red and black ones, and my Everton ones are just mixed.
Did you get that pink third shirt that Everton had that year? That was
yes, the Tim Cahill one. Yeah, except I gave it to my sister a few years ago, and then I hopefully got the pink one for my birthday this year. But my birthday gift has not come in the mail yet. So,
Rona.
I didn't get it for you. Sorry.
Damn it.
All right.
Not coming.
On that note.
Yeah. On that note, thank you for listening, everybody. Been a decent one. We'll keep doing these weekly because it's good just to catch up with the lads more than anything else. And no doubt the papers will keep cranking shite out. So, yeah, we'll keep doing these. But in the meantime, you can follow me on Twitter at Ollie Fisher or at Kilpin Chronicle for some more explicit Milan-based rants. AJ, take it away.
Yep, Torget45. Follow me there. Everyone keeps deactivated, so my follower count keeps dropping. And I haven't talked about football in a while, so, check that out, I guess.
Maddie.
I have no idea how many followers I have, but go ahead and follow me, Madison_DT.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching, everybody, and we will catch you in a week's time.
Tira Alessio, Suso, tira, perché non tiriamo? Ma perché non tiriamo? Gol! Alessio Romagnoli, gol! Alessio Romagnoli!